the Know for Friday, October 21, the 294th day of 2022. There are 71 days left in the year. Good morning, MV, guiding you through In the Know at K105 on Litchfield's Country Station, 103.9 The Moose. Live online at K105.com via the Apple and Android smartphone app using the SoundCloud, iTunes, or Spotify podcast, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter. And the hashtag is In the Know. Coming up today, we'll update you on the latest news headlines from around the community, the county, the Commonwealth, and the country. Get ready for a big weekend. Preview Grayson County and Owensboro tonight. That and a whole lot more coming up today. Here on In the Know. Settling into my left, rolling Mach 9 with her hair on fire. Is my beautiful wife, the beautiful girl. It's Beach. Good morning, sweetheart.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm okay.
Been up all night listening to the new Taylor Swift album, I guess.
Yes, that's exactly what I've been doing.
Well, how do you rate it? A through F. You give it A plus, I would imagine.
I'm gonna give it an NA.
About F minus. I figured that's what you were gonna. D for disgusting, as Alea would say.
Yeah.
He is a 5-time winner of the coveted Ohio News Hawk Award. He's a 2-time Silver Sound nominee, covering every corner of the globe: London, Budapest, Rio, Tokyo, and even Litchfield. He's Sam Gormley, and the Sparks. Morning, Sam.
Morning, Ruff.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm feeling a sense of overwhelming gratitude today.
Because it's Friday?
No, to the justice system, the legal system of Grayson County, because I don't have to be in jury duty today.
Good point, good point.
The prosecutors, the defenders, the judges, the clerks, they all got it worked out. No jury duty today.
Heck, even the criminals might have gotten it worked out, too.
They might. If somebody had to take a plea.
Uh-huh.
So, nobody wants to go to court on Friday.
No.
I thought that was outlawed anyway. So when I saw it on the calendar, I thought, who has court on Friday? That's so 1980.
Well, that's because, the Supreme Court Justice Grayson County left, so there's, right? Did Misty won that one of her rules? And
it was one
when
of
she
her
left?
rules, yep. And so, but, I was happy that didn't have to go today. Found out right as soon as the show was over yesterday. I was like, oh, good, I have a message. No.
Yeah, I wasn't lucky enough to get the text message system.
No. Oh, yeah, when they realize who they're dealing with, they got to get all the fancy tools out and, work on the text message notification thing. I'm not sure when I have to consider going again. Probably sometime next week. So, prosecutors and defenders, I'm rooting for you. Get it all worked out.
I think it might even be Monday that I'm looking at it. That might not be good.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe I'll know by the end of the show today that there won't be any jury duty. I like the way that works. Just let me know, a couple days in advance. Now, it is harder to plan into the future. I do have to at least allow for, there's that old chestnut over there that I got to at least consider. So, anyway, sunny, warmer through the weekend. Going to be highs in the 70s over the weekend. Rain chances will return next week, but before we get to talk about the rain chances, this weekend, the temperature is going to be nice, but there's still going to be fire danger concerning throughout the weekend because things are so dry. We're going to see highs around the 80-degree mark, and by the time that things cool, like say today, we'll get up to about 78, but it'll be there for about an hour. By the time we get there, we'll start going back the other way, and we'll cool off into an overnight low of 52, but it'll be back in the 60s. If you're outside this evening or even tomorrow evening, I know people are going to say, well, let's light a fire. It's a nice fall evening. Let's do that. I'll just tell you, not a good idea for as dry as things are. I kind of had a little burn project in mind for me for this afternoon and evening, but I think I've changed my plans too. There is not technically a burn ban that I'm aware of in Grayson County, but I just think that's because the judge just doesn't like to do that. He likes to kind of leave it to people's discretion, but I think he would tell you probably not a good idea to be burning because the drought monitor continues to worsen. And little or no precipitation has fallen in Kentucky during the past 7 days, so the drought monitor now shows most of the state is in at least moderate drought category. There was a large increase in the moderate drought or D1 area and currently includes 59.41% of Kentucky. So nearly 60% is in at least a moderate drought. There's but the severe drought area doubled, went from 5% of the state to 10% of the state. So there are 46 of 120 counties where judges have implemented burn bans as of yesterday. So maybe you just kind of follow that advice and say, let's save the burning for some other time. Again, I'm going from personal experience. Don't be the knucklehead that sets the hillside on fire and burning the garbage. Just trying to do your part-time job.
I even saw a video from our friends in Butler County who was near their transmitter site.
Oh, yeah?
And I know that they luckily said that it saved them because just the wind on it. I saw some video of it just blowing it like crazy. It was just a little fire that all of a sudden took over a field.
Yep, absolutely. So just, I'm not saying you shouldn't burn and then I'm out here doing something else. I'm just telling you, I think I've just kind of decided to play it safe for me. Internationally, this kind of transpired or happened over about a 24 to 36 hour period. Liz Truss is out as the new UK Prime Minister. So weird that one of the last public duties or the last photographs we have of QE2
is with her, yeah.
Was welcoming Liz Truss on the job. And Liz Truss is already out. It's so weird.
Well, I heard
that she lasts 42 days.
I saw a tweet that said, in 20 years, that's going to be a great pub trivia question.
Oh, yeah.
In England, who is the prime minister when Queen Elizabeth died?
Yeah, because she'll be almost a footnote, or she'll be so notorious, she'll be the butt of all the jokes because so it'll be a widely known fact, but it is irony in, it's just unbelievable. Now, it is hard to, so the way they do it in England, the party holds the seat of the prime, so they have an election, and then the party has the seat, and then they decide who's going to be the prime minister. And so if they decide that the prime minister's not doing a good job, then they just say, you're out, and then they elect somebody else to be the prime minister, which right now looks like a pretty good idea. But how bad must you be? Like, what is the equivalent? Isn't this the private sector equivalent of getting fired on the first day?
Pretty close.
Of your job? Like, isn't this showing up at your job? People say, congratulations, you got this new job. By the end of the day, you're going, this isn't going to work out. And so she's out. By the time they replace her, it'll be like 45 days.
Are you a candidate? Since you do have the British ancestry?
I do have some ancestry, but I don't know. Probably not. A Litchfield woman has been arrested after being indicted for stealing medication and cash from elderly residents of Parkland Manor Apartments and Parkland Manor West. The Litchfield Police Department investigation began back in the late spring and conducted an investigation that finally led to an indictment and arrest of a 25-year-old Sydney Horton, who is no longer, but was formerly an employee of those facilities that is believed to have been involved in the theft of medications and other items from those residents. A Bardstown man has been charged in the disappearance of a teenager from Breckinridge County. This happened on Sunday. The Breckinridge County Sheriff's Office was informed that 15-year-old Cadence Riggle was missing from a family farm. She was reported missing by her grandparents, who said that early Sunday morning, late Saturday night, that while they were sleeping, that Riggle snuck out of their cabin. Family members told investigators they thought Riggle had used one of their phones to call someone to pick her up. About 40 minutes after she left the cabin, before Riggle had been reported missing, a Hardinsburg police officer made contact with Riggle and an 18-year-old Marcus Durbin of Bardstown as they sat in a 2012 Ford-passenger car in a business in Hardinsburg. The officer, having no reason to detain the two, left the scene, but then on Thursday, they tracked them down to Lebanon Junction, where both surrendered to authorities. These stories, custodial interference is going to be the charge, but they're so close in age. They're at least friends of some kind. It would be my presumption. But I was thinking about how in the year 2022, you're a child, a juvenile can sneak out of a home and next thing you know, be 3 counties away somewhere else for whatever reason. I was thinking about how big the world is compared to how it used to be. In the old days, to call to Edmonson County, it was a long distance phone call, right? If you wanted to communicate with someone in a neighboring county, the cheapest way to do it was by mail. because stamps were about 12 cents.
Well, even me, it was when I was growing up, it was a long distance call from Northern Kentucky to Louisville.
Absolutely. And so, but it used just to be, I mean, now you can run to Brownsville. It's like, I'm going to run down there real quick because I got to pick something up, or you got to run somewhere else, or you got to, but the ability to communicate with people further and further away, obviously I'm married to someone from Edmonson County. And that happens, but it's not a huge percentage. But now more and more young people choose to date or marry people from 3 and 4 counties away because it's so much easier to socialize and get to know one another because of the way we communicate. It's just remarkable in the way that has changed in not so short a period of time, but it's just different. Used to be if your kid snuck out of the house, they were probably down the street or 3 houses away, or, they was pretty likely. And now it's like Lebanon Junction. And you may not even know that they have friends in Lebanon Junction. You see my point? Or Bardstown or wherever it might be. Governor Beshear yesterday extended Medicaid coverage for dental, vision, and hearing care to hundreds of thousands of Kentucky adults, saying the sweeping initiative will remove some of the health-related obstacles keeping people from getting jobs. The expansion will cover about 900,000 adults enrolled in the state's Medicaid program. Medicaid is a joint federal and state health care program for poor and disabled people. This says in a followed-up statement that they sent later, it said the federal government will pay for the vast majority of the expanded care, which I read is, okay, how vast? And then they went on later and said federal funds will cover 90% of the initiative's $36 million in annual costs, and the State Department for Medicaid Services will cover the remaining 10%. So tax dollars, no matter where you slice it, but it's just depending upon how you consider them, federal tax dollars versus state tax dollars. A candidate for a Louisville district of the Kentucky House has been disqualified from the race for a filing error. The judge ruled that Susan Tyler Witten's signatories did not live in House District 31 when she filed to run for office on January 19. The legislative redistricting that changed the map took effect the next day. Witten's opponent, who is a Democrat named Sue Foster, filed a petition to have Witten disqualified from the race. Jefferson Circuit Judge Annie O'Connell ruled Witten's signatories, her husband and mother, were not living in the new District 31 when she filed. Witten said she plans to appeal the ruling and that Foster is afraid to face voters this November. I want to spend a little more time trying to figure this out. I mean, I do believe details matter, and I believe that elections have consequences, and I believe that when you make a decision to do something, then there are oftentimes unintended consequences, and you go, oh, I didn't think about that. So when they move these districts around, this is one of the repercussions of, well, when you redrew the line, then technically the person who signed to as a testament that this person is qualified for this office, they're no longer in that district. And so it's one of those, for me, I kind of say, well, that's what you deserve for constantly moving these things to your advantage. Mm-hmm. Or at least sometimes it has the optics of that. If you're constantly trying to move these around and you go, well, let's get this nipped and tucked just like we want, and then this is the penalty you pay, you go, well, all right. But then on the other side, I go, if you really thought you were going to win, like if you really thought you were going to win the seat, you would just let the electorate decide who should have the seat. But it shows you that the Democratic Party needs to do about anything they can to try and gain seats in the legislature because they're in a super minority. So I can argue both sides of it. I can feel both ways about it. In the end, I don't know which I would decide, but the judge had to decide, not me. So I'll defer to her, I think. Speaking of judges, Tom Emberton, once a Republican candidate for Kentucky governor and later chief judge of the State Court of Appeals, died yesterday in a house fire. The fire was discovered around 3:30 yesterday morning. The Metcalfe County coroner Larry Wilson reported that information. Emberton helped get his wife away from the home, but then he went back inside and didn't make it out. He was in his late 80s. Chief Justice John Minton announced Emberton's death during his State of the Judiciary. Edmonton Mayor Doug Smith said the fire was accidental. What a tragedy. House fire in the middle of the night for, I presume, an elderly couple. He's elderly. I presume that she was of similar age, but sad news. Chief Justice Minton making other news yesterday. He is retiring at the end of the year, and he spoke to a committee, the Joint Judiciary Committee in Frankfurt yesterday. He has served as the Chief Justice for the past 14 years and was talking about some of the biggest challenges. Really, one of the first challenges that he had was the Great Recession. So that 08-09 period where budgets were just shot and state government was strapped and the AOC didn't have money and they had to get creative on how to do their job and do their tasks. And then he said, flash forward to 2020. And then now you all of a sudden got judges doing Zooms and you got prosecutors and you got all this, in the COVID era. So he's really in his 14 years on the job. You're right. Quite tremendous bookends that they are dealing with. And then, you covered that. This headline made me laugh. It came out of Australia. It says a tourist was fined $2,300 after feeding cookies to a dingo.
Dingo ate
Yeah,
your baby.
yeah, dingo ate my baby.
And so,
Ate your baby.
how many Americans can hear that story, right?
yeah.
Can hear that headline. How many of them can hear that headline and not say, the dingo ate your baby?
I love it.
So shout out to
Dingo is a fun word anyways.
Elaine Bennis. Dingo is a fun word. And we also watch Bluey a lot, and Bingo is Bluey's sibling. So we got bingos and dingoes, and then we got lots of lingo, too, that we use. I've suddenly turned into Dr. Seuss. Got to get to a break. We'll come back. Got more on the way. Hang around here on In the Know.
If you're a woman over 40, have you had your annual mammogram? Whether you're a mother, wife, sister, mentor, or friend, you're important to so many in your life. At Owensboro Health, we want to help you live a healthy life with the ones you love. Having an annual screening mammogram is one way to take good care of yourself, because you're worth it. Schedule your screening mammogram online at owensborohealth.org/mammogram.
There's no place like home.
At Beehive Homes of Litchfield, we know how to take good care of people, and it shows in the details. With our showcase kitchen, home-cooked meals, engaging social activities, and outstanding wellness care, Beehive Homes offers the next best place to home. It's more than just a lovely place to live. It's a warm, caring, vibrant community.
There's no place like home.
Beehive Homes of Litchfield. See our home today.
Most people think water pollution is an industrial problem, but it's also a household problem. When you allow hazardous chemicals, paint, or even pet waste to wash down the storm drain, it goes directly into our water. That makes a huge mess today, and an even bigger mess for our kids to clean up tomorrow. It's time we all did our part to protect Kentucky's water. To find out how you can help, visit stormwater.ky.gov. Brought to you by the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet.
There's a few things you can always depend on when autumn rolls around. School buses on the road, cooler weather, crops being harvested, and the annual Wright Implement Spooktacular Fall Sales Event. Get 0% for 84 months on the compact 1023E utility tractor, featuring a loader, mower deck, and much, much more, now only $199 a month. $250 off all in-stock 1 through 3 series tractors, and huge discounts on John Deere zero-turn mowers. Wright Implement. Online at wrightimp.com. Offer ends 10/28/22. Some restrictions apply. See us for details.
For happy Halloween weekends, I'm gonna be a soaring Thunderbird.
I'll be a real bird, the Raven, flying through the woods and over the water.
I'm feeling like a pilgrim on the voyage, going over one of the world's steepest drops.
Huh, guess I'm a mind reader. I already bought our Holiday World tickets.
Wow! Yeah!
Woo! Be whatever you want at Holiday World each weekend through October. Do a corn maze, walk through the Scare B&B, and go trick-or-treating. Get tickets at holidayworld.com.
Tesla CEO Elon Musk says the company is not reducing production in a meaningful way, recession or not. Company earnings came in at $1.05 per share, 6 cents more than what analysts had expected, but revenue was $50 million less. Musk also reportedly planning to lay off roughly 75% of Twitter employees once his deal for the social media company goes through. Musk has told potential investors he plans to lay off around 5,500 employees, reducing the workforce to roughly 2,000. Waymo plans to launch its self-driving service in Los Angeles. The Bay Area company did not disclose exactly when its Waymo One service would become available to riders. Waymo currently only operates its service to the public in parts of Phoenix. And Uber is rolling out ads on its app. Ads will come from more than 40 brands, including NBC Universal, Heineken, and United Artists. Advertisers can also buy sponsored listings through its food delivery service, Uber Eats, as well as sponsor email campaigns through the company. Tech Report.
With it in the air, the wind is taking it everywhere. Yeah. Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it?
Today is Back to the Future Day. This was the day, 2015, that Marty and Doc traveled to. It was October 21, 2015 is where they traveled in Back to the Future, so today is Back to the Future Day. 1.1 gigawatt, Marty. Today is Babbling Day.
We're good at that.
Yep, some of us made a living at it. Garbanzo Bean Day today.
Big fan.
Garbanzo bean, also chickpeas, also
hummus.
Hummus.
Yeah, I was going to say, what can we call that?
Hummus.
Would that be hummus seeds? Chickpeas could be hummus seeds. All right. International Caps Lock Day is tomorrow. Smart is Cool Day tomorrow. Eat a Pretzel Day tomorrow. Sunday is Mother-in-Law Day. Sunday is also TV Talk Show Host Day. Do we count? I mean, I'm looking at a TV up there and I'm on it. Does that count? And then Sunday is also, you'll probably want to write this one down so you don't forget, Slap Your Irritating Coworker Day. So my guess instances of this, of the celebration, will be minimal since it falls on a Sunday this year.
Yeah, I don't plan on seeing any coworkers on Sunday.
2 major holidays fall on Sunday this year, Christmas and Slap Your Irritating Coworker Day. So it's kind of those two things line up with one.
I got a little worried when you said Sunday. I thought you meant this coming Sunday. I was like, wait, what holiday did I forget coming up?
No, it's Christmas is not until the end of the year. I'm not sure if you'd looked at your calendar, but
it's coming a lot quicker than I'm ready for.
Earlier this week, I noticed there was only like 10 weekends until Christmas, like only 48 business days. So not very many. Today is Friday, so that means we're next to the final. I guess it's the penultimate week of the regular season for the Grayson County Cougar football team. They will be hosting the Owensboro Senior High School Red Devils. I like to lovingly call them the Fighting Randy Embreys.
Okay.
So Randy played for the Kentucky Wildcats. He had a big career as a baseball coach at Davis County, but played at Owensboro, and is currently a scout for the Miami Heat. He's friends with Pat Riley, and so anyway, we see them every fall.
That's right. Yes.
So I can't think of Owensboro without thinking of Randy and Luann. So the Fighting Randys will come to Cougar Stadium tonight to face the Cougars, and I know, Sam, before tonight, going into this game, we thought, well, this one is at least going to kind of give us an idea on playoffs, but playoffs have come into focus even without the game tonight.
Yeah, well, more of just the opponents have been finalized, but tonight's game still has impact on it.
The outcome could have impact.
Correct.
On it. Yes.
Correct. So it's the simplest way to put it. That is, if Owensboro beats Grayson County tonight, then Grayson County in 2 weeks will be going to Greenwood in the first round of the playoffs, because Greenwood last night upset South Warren. So Grayson County, if they lose tonight, will be headed to the Swamp and facing the Gators of Greenwood in 2 weeks. If Grayson County wins, then the game that opens up the window is Graves County, Muhlenberg County. So here's the interesting thing.
Gotcha.
So you know what? It's a possibility, so we have to talk about it. If Grayson County wins and then Muhlenberg County beats Graves County, the Cougars are the number 1 seed in the district hosting Christian County. So that is a possibility.
It is a mathematical
It
possibility.
is. It is a mathematical possibility because that we have to at least mention it. Then the second or the third scenario is Cougars beat Owensboro, but Graves beats Muhlenberg. And in that case, that's where it gets real messy. It gets real messy.
Tiebreakers.
Because there'll be a three-way tiebreaker.
Yeah.
All three teams would be at 4-1, and it would go into the RPI. So then it would go into next week, and it's. I wish I could sit there and do the math, but since they use the RPI, there's so much math that you have to have like the mathematical equation already built in.
They don't give the algorithm. They don't make it publicly available.
They do give the algorithm, but still, you have to take your winning percentage times your opponent's winning percentage times your opponent's winning percentage.
Don't forget inflation.
Yes. Yeah. There's all of that. So it would go into that. So it would more likely mean that Grayson County would then have to beat Hart County next week to potentially get the 2 seed.
Okay. All right.
So that's kind of getting focused. If they were the 2 seed, they would host South Warren in the first round of the playoffs.
Let's go back to last week first, though. What was your takeaway coming out of the eighth regular season game for the Cougars?
Good win. They beat Ohio County. I mean, they started off the game on a 16-play drive lasting almost 10 minutes. I mean, can't start off much better than that. And then it got even better because Ohio County's first play, they fumbled it. Cougars get the ball, one play, score another touchdown, and they were up 13-0 before Ohio County. I mean, Ohio County had the ball one play. Doesn't start much better than that. And then I know Coach Jones said after the game that he wasn't necessarily happy because he felt like they kind of relaxed a little bit too much. But then in the second half, they came out. Ohio County got a couple of touchdowns, but one was on a long kickoff return. The game was never in doubt. Yeah. Cougars took control of it, and I know Waylon Bruce played a really good game. Jaron Van Meter had a couple of touchdowns, as did Hunter Felty.
So the Owensboro senior Red Devils coming in, there have been a couple of games this year that when I saw the final score and they were involved, I remember raising my eyebrow like, all right, that's atypical of Owensboro. We go back to now almost 2 seasons ago, the very beginning of their last campaign. Gavin Wimsett bolts for Rutgers, and Owensboro, they go on and have a different season. I mean, they have a good season. I'm not
they were state Final Four.
Yeah, I'm not diminishing that at all, but I'm just kind of following the arc and the trajectory because this year they don't seem to have had what you would expect to be your average Owensboro season.
Which is funny for you to say that they're 6-2 and their 2 losses came to St. X and Owensboro Catholic. I think you're fair in saying that, but
I think it's the Catholic one that stands out to me most.
Yeah, and that's one of those. It's like Grayson County, Edmonson County, where the best team doesn't always win because it's the rivalry. It's the top one in that area. Catholic is good this year as well, so it's not like it's. I don't know that I read too much into this. I mean, this Owensboro team is really, really good.
So it's not as much Owensboro playing down to Owensboro Catholic. It's a blip on the radar where Catholic is better this year than maybe historically.
Yeah, I mean, they're good. I mean, it was at Owensboro Catholic too, which adds into that as well.
Sure.
And it was 21-17, so it's not like it was a huge one. But I mean, you look at it, Owensboro in their 4 district games that they've played this year have allowed 22 points.
All right.
Yeah. That's a cumulative 22 points in 4 games. 7 points, 7 points, 8 points, 0 points. I mean, they're really, really good.
So who are the names are most likely to hear you say the most tonight?
Kenyatta Carbon's their running back. I think he's just averaging like a casual 10 yards a rush.
That's all.
Just 10 yards.
Yeah.
I think he's got like 16 touchdowns on the ground. That's it. And then they got a couple wide receivers. Yeah, casual. Offensively, they're really good, but I think it starts for them up front. I mean, they got offensive linemen. One of their tackles is being recruited by Kentucky, and some like Purdue and some of the Miami, Ohio. He went on a visit there, so I mean, he's going to be playing D1 football on an offensive line very soon. I mean, they're just a really good football team. Defensively, as I mentioned, they don't give up a lot of points. They got a couple of really good linebackers and a defensive tackle in the middle, Savon Hines, who is he's a menace. I think it's the best way to describe it. He's just a phenomenal football player.
Cougar conversation tonight?
Yeah. How about we hit the hardwood?
Oh, okay.
I mean, basketball season's coming really quick.
Yep.
So we're going to jump in, talk to the hardwood, and talk a little boys basketball. Talk to River Blanton.
Exciting volleyball match earlier this week. Grayson County, Edmonson County. a 5-setter.
It was.
Took a little drama for the Lady Cougars to even stay in it.
Yeah, they were down
and keep it going.
Down 2-0, came back, tied it up 2-2, and then the Lady Cats won in set 5, 15-9.
And then who went on to win? I can't even remember now.
Whitesville Trinity won on Tuesday.
Trinity won the district. All right,
they did 3-0. It was a good match though. It was pretty. The Lady Raiders kind of took control at the end of each of the sets, and they might win the region. It would not shock me if they cut. Well, I always like to say they cut down the nets, but that's not what they. I think they still
cut the nets.
They
volleyball?
don't. I feel like they should because you still can, but I feel like a volleyball net's probably a little bit more expensive than
just a tad bit.
Yeah. So maybe that's not necessarily the most economical solution, but they might be the favorite along with Owensboro Catholic and Meade County up in the playing at Meade County High School.
Gotcha. Are all the other everyone else?
Cross country has region tomorrow.
They do have tomorrow
at Thomas Nelson High School. The girls run at 4 Eastern, boys at 4:40. I think that's right. So
Cougar Band has regionals tomorrow too. I think they're at Hopkinsville
Stadium
tomorrow.
of the Champions. I believe that is correct.
Stadium of Champions. It'll be a day long there, and then they'll get to see where we're headed from there.
Yeah, if they do that, then they head to one of the high schools, and then if they do that, next up would be hopefully ending at EKU.
Yeah, that's where the finals are this year.
Yes.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if they moved that around. Anything else on the sports landscape we need to talk about? The Cats, have the bye week, so they can get rested up for Tennessee next week.
Tops, Shaq.
Oh yeah, DJ Diesel on campus tonight in Bowling Green.
Listen, I know that's where you're headed, right?
No, I'm probably going to sit that one out.
You're not going to want to go see Shaq? But
there are one of us Buckles kids who met Shaq, and I'll just let Marita hang on to that. She met Shaq in Miami a few years ago, so I don't, she did it. I'm good with that. We'll let her have it. And then Louisville plays Pitt tomorrow?
That sounds right. Yeah, I think they're hosting Pitt. WKU hosts UAB. So it should be a good game tonight if maybe you have one screen on the Cougars, one screen on the Tops tonight.
Yeah, I've got it set up now where I can do about 3 at once if I want to, but then I can't scroll Facebook or Twitter or whatever. Now I need a 4th screen.
Well,
in order to work that out.
We've got plenty of screens in this room. You could just take
That's true. We do
take one with you.
Inflation is costing Americans $445 more in expenses per month. Inflation hit 8.2% in September, higher than expected as rent, food prices soar. The average American family, $445. For some people, it's zero. For some people, it's double $445. But that's a lot. Especially, I heard earlier this week. I don't even know if I should mention this out loud, but since we're properly stocked in our freezer, I guess I can mention it. Miss Buckles over there told me that there could be a turkey shortage, and even if there's not a shortage, turkeys are going to cost more than they did a year ago, and it might continue through Thanksgiving. So if you can find one, good for you, but just be prepared to pay more than you did. There is a 73% increase in the price per pound of an 8 to 16 pound turkey. Not 73 cents, 73%. It's the chicken wings of 2022. The turkey is being super high in price. So it's a combination of bird flu, the increased cost to raise turkeys due to inflation, that also affects turkey prices, and so it's making it more of a premium at the store.
So are they canceling the turkey drop this year then?
I think it would be foolish to do, or the turkey toss. I'm just, this is the time of year when we schedule our friends from the Butterball Turkey Talk line. I'm afraid, like they're always so jovial and happy when we talk to them on the phone. I'm just afraid that this year they might have this kind of downtrodden kind of tone, like our lives as turkey people may be over. So I hope that's not the case.
I doubt it. They are always so happy.
In Prosser, Washington, the city of Prosser's official Halloween display has been taken down after objections were raised to it featuring the stereotypical nosy and officious Karen of modern lore. Someone wanted to speak to the manager about the effigy of a furious woman wearing a "Can I Speak to a Manager" t-shirt. In a news release, the city of Prosser says it has also withdrawn from the historic downtown Prosser decorating contest, saying they acknowledge the display was inconsistent with the spirit of the competition. Nah.
So you're saying that somebody wanted to speak to the manager about the speak to the manager?
It's exactly right. And I'll guarantee you their name was Karen, right? Because it's only people named Karen who would be mad at this display about a Karen acting like a Karen. Now, apologies to all of the Karens that just happen to, but there is a reason that's the thing about stereotypes, is there's some kernel of truth in them. We may not like them. We might not, there may be, when we go places and you say you're from Kentucky and they say something about no shoes and teeth and whatever.
KFC,
You go, well, there's a reason that it's that way. So I would just say that there's been more than an average amount of people named Karen who have asked to speak to the manager for some particular reason. And I just love it that this is making fun of the very thing that now these people are doing and saying, you need to take that display down. Can I speak to the manager about that?
I like your Karen voice.
Thank you. I worked very hard on it. Folks are not happy with a neighbor's messed up Halloween yard decorations. This is, I'm not sure where in the world this happened. This happened in the United Kingdom, but person post, can we all agree that this Halloween decoration, in quote fingers, goes too far? So it's basically a big, huge black tarp wrapped in duct tape laying underneath a tree. So it looks like a DB, right? Just laying there in somebody's yard. Where does it, when do we cross the line?
Listen,
like it.
If you really think your neighbor is just going to leave a good old body just laying out there in the front yard.
But unfortunately, though, Sam, there are people, though, who live in neighborhoods where there could be a dead body wrapped in black plastic and duct tape just dumped there for someone to find. So my life experience says it's unlikely to happen. Your life experience says it's unlikely to happen.
I don't think that'd be happening in Caneyville quite often. Would it?
Might be more likely to happen there than some places. I don't know. I mean, I've met some people from Caneyville that are like, well, I don't know. I've been around there a long time. I mean, I don't have anybody in mind. I've just met people who go.
You mean you could find one of those at Crawdad Stadium?
It could be you. You might be the one who would do this. And then a highway police in Ontario said a dump truck's box became lodged underneath a highway overpass when the vehicle attempted to drive under the bridge with the box raised.
It looks like it just ripped it plumb off the truck.
I know. It looked like it looked like that the truck just drove out from underneath and just lodged there, and the truck's no longer there.
Yeah, the truck's just gone.
Yeah. I'd say Buford T. Justice and Jr. are somewhere in that truck. And Jr. just said, Daddy, the dump came off. We got to get to a break. We'll come back. Got more on the way here on In the Know.
Sports is about overcoming obstacles. This is Ernie Johnson Jr., and those are the stories I love to tell in the broadcast booth. But the courage of college athletes is more than matched by another group of young men, the boys fighting Duchenne muscular dystrophy. It's the most prolific genetic killer diagnosed in childhood, and there's no cure. But college football coaches are doing something about it, and you can help. It's called Coach to Cure MD. Text the word CURE to 501-501 to donate $25 on your next mobile phone bill, or go online at CoachToCureMD.org. Text the word CURE to 501-501 today. Help college football coaches cure MD. You'll be proud you did.
Brought to you by the American Football Coaches Association.
You may have been born to be wild, but you weren't born to be dead from a needless motorcycle crash. So when you're even just a little impaired, you do not get your motor running. You do not head out on the highway. What you do is get a ride from a sober friend, a taxi or rideshare service, or public transportation. Because you may be looking for adventure, but you're not looking for trouble. Please ride sober. Paid with funds through the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety.
Cougar Sports is officially underway, and T-Shirt Express, the bright pink building on the square, has you covered. Parents, students, and fans of Cougar sports, choir, and band will find a variety of selections to cheer the Cougars on. T-Shirt Express also offers laser engraving, embroidery, memorial items, and they welcome all design ideas. T-Shirt Express, the bright pink building on the square for all of your Cougar and personalization needs.
Do you know what's below? If you're planning a digging project, you need to know what's below. To find out, visit Kentucky811.org at least 2 days before you dig. This free service will mark the underground utility lines and you will know what's below. To prevent costly damages and for your safety, know what's below. Visit Kentucky811.org.
K105 Weather is brought to you by Future Designs Building Materials on Quarry Road in Litchfield.
Twin Lakes weather. Highs today into the upper 60s and the low 70s across the region. Plenty of sunshine in the forecast. For tonight, we'll see mainly clear skies as we fall down into the 40s. Tomorrow, even warmer as we climb into the mid to upper 70s for your highs. From the Wave News Storm Tracking Team, I'm meteorologist Tawana Andrews.
She's so mad. She's all mad.
Today's Did You Know is brought to you by our friends at ECTC's Litchfield campus. Don't forget, the FAFSA window is open right now. Now's a great time to assess your financial aid opportunities and start focusing on the spring semester, which will start in January. Don't forget, they'll be having FAFSA night at Grayson County High School for all the high school students next week. That'll be on the 26th. So take advantage and meet your financial aid counselors and learn about your FAFSA opportunities with ECTC's Litchfield campus, where they want to ask, did you know eating cinnamon cools your body by up to 2 degrees and maintains the integrity of the stomach wall?
Interesting.
Is this why we've decided to put cinnamon in chili?
Hey, now.
I'm asking because it's beneficial. It helps keep us cool and helps fortify our stomach wall. I like just I don't like a lot of cinnamon. I don't know
how much.
Chili.
I didn't know that.
About cinnamon?
Yeah, for you in chili. I don't put cinnamon in chili.
I know. That's why I said I prefer it not to have very much cinnamon in it.
Oh, I thought you said, oh, okay. I heard it the other way.
With it.
No, I prefer.
Oh,
that's only real chili has it in it.
No, I prefer it without it.
Cincinnati
I
style.
I like a Texas style chili more than
absolutely not. It doesn't even compare.
More than like
so
the Coney Island type of chili, and that I don't.
No,
yeah, don't.
You got to talk about real chili, Cincinnati style.
I don't prefer that. So yeah.
Noodles.
So, but I didn't realize that cinnamon has this stomach wall protective property to it. That was news to me.
It's supposed to get rid of ants.
It is?
Yes.
Huh, interesting.
So when I was sitting out in the summer on the patio,
yeah,
I did a little circle around me with cinnamon. They won't cross the cinnamon barrier.
So that's why you don't have ants in your stomach. You get ants. You have ants in your pants. Mm-hmm. But you say you got ants in your pants. Mm-hmm. Well, maybe you need to put
Sprinkle
some cinnamon in your pants. A little dust in your drawers. Little
Should I do that? Should I do that before the game tonight?
Sure, whatever you like. Today's movie premieres for this weekend. Not surprisingly, Black Adam is opening in the cinema today, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and Viola Davis is also in that. I like The Rock, by the way. I always have. Even I have very, very little history with the actual WWF then. But the period in which I watched it was right after Stone Cold Steve Austin, but it was really when The Rock got over. And so that kind of, I think, where almost the peak was in that. And so, not that it's not popular now. So I have enjoyed watching him, and I think he's very entertaining. But he was telling a story this week about, maybe it's hyperbole, but he was talking about the first time. He's always been a DC comic guy. And the first time I saw the superhero Black Adam, and he had brown skin, and I said, that's who I'm going to be. That's who I'm going to play. And I thought, I don't know if I believe that story exactly as it's being told, But I am happy that there's a superhero that he can portray
Mhm.
that helps other people that might look like him. You know, like I'm fine with all of that, but I just thought it's awfully convenient. You know,
Like
that-
Black Panther.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, but I just, it makes for a really
Well,
good
I mean,
story. But
I know a member of the K105 Digital Productions crew is headed there tomorrow night to watch it.
Yeah.
He's really excited.
all right, well, I'll expect.
I'm
book
expecting
report.
a review from him.
Yeah.
100%.
Do they still call them book reports? I don't guess they do.
Do you want a book report from him? I'll see him tonight. I can. How many word essay do you want?
500.
500. I'll let him know.
And then also opening, so if you don't like The Rock, maybe George Clooney is more your style. He and Julia Roberts have a new movie opening, a rom-com. It's called Ticket to Paradise. Two exes find themselves on a shared mission to Bali to stop their love-struck daughter from making the same mistake they once made. All right.
Sounds kind of Hallmarkish.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know. Boy, I'd hate to call that Hallmarkish.
Clooney
It sounds more like Mamma Mia type of.
Uh-huh.
I mean, for people of a certain age, George Clooney and Julia Roberts are still a big box office draw.
Uh-huh.
Now they
Kentuckian?
probably don't want to show that movie, say, after 6 p.m. because if it's not over by 8,
You're in bed,
none
yeah.
of us are. Yeah, that's right.
Uh-huh.
It's like the middle of the night. So might as well just start that. You know, you could have they do matinees. They might as well do like a mid-morning showing of that
Like-
George Clooney, Julia Roberts
Right
movie.
when the show's over.
Right when the show's over, so I could rush over there because if it's after 8 o'clock, it was like, ooh, I can't stay out that late. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever is tracking for a massive $175 million opening. So, yeah, big
When is that out?
gangbusters.
Does it say? I
I'll
don't even
just
know.
look through here. I had that a minute ago. November 11.
Okay.
November 11 is when that will open.
Because I wouldn't imagine it'd be too close to the Black Adam because they don't want to obviously compete against one another.
That's right. Want to give them a little space. The Crown, the new season 5 trailer is out, and Princess Diana wants to, quote, tear down the temple. Oh. Now, we talked about it earlier this week where we heard that the Buckingham Palace is not very happy with what they think is coming in season 5. And, there were they basically were portraying that Charles went to John Major and inferred that they needed to figure out how to oust his mother so he could slide right in there. And there is a piece in that, in season 5 of The Crown where Charles goes in there, talks about needing to modernize the monarchy. Trust me, they monetize it. To modernize the monarchy, and this is during the hubbub with Diana and all that. And Queen Elizabeth basically said to him, I'm not the one who's placing the monarchy in danger. And so, though, that some of those things have to be true, but even like Dame Judi Dench is calling for the Crown to put a disclaimer in the beginning of the season explaining that there's sensationalism involved and all that. And so I don't think it's exactly factual, but I do think it's based in fact.
Mm-hmm.
But it comes out November 9. So I'm ready to.
Looks like I got to catch up on the first 4 seasons first.
Do it to it. A man called Otto. Tom Hanks is a grumpy neighbor in a new film.
Watch the trailer of that before I came in here.
Yeah? Does it look all right?
Yeah, it looks like your typical.
It looks like a Tom Hanks movie?
Yeah, he's a grumpy neighbor. It looks like his wife had passed away, and a new neighborhood or new family moves in next door to him, and it looks like they change his life and all of that. Your typical Christmas time feel good story.
Miley Cyrus settles with the paparazzi who sued her over the Instagram photo that she used. It was their photo. I don't know what they settled for, but they finally figured it out and moved forward. And then I read this, that Alanis Morissette's daughter, Her name is Onyx, and she's 6 years of age. She does not call her mom. Her 6-year-old does not call her mom because everywhere they go, people refer to her by both names. They say, oh, it's Alanis Morissette. And so the daughter just calls her Alanis Morissette because that's what she hears everyone else call her. And I thought,
sense.
Isn't that ironic?
That makes
Don't
sense.
you think? Got to get to a break. We'll come back with more here on In the Know.
Although Halloween is still ahead of us, Christmas music may already be playing at your local stores. Some say October is too early, but I love it because for me, the music of Christmas conveys the message of Christmas. Christmas is about hope, something we're all searching for. C.S. Lewis turned Christmas into a powerful metaphor in his classic novel, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. In the story, a little girl named Lucy stumbles into the wintry land of Narnia through a magic wardrobe. The first character she meets is Tumnus, a creature who's part fawn and part human. He tells Lucy that the White Witch has cursed Narnia. It's always winter and never Christmas. Without the joy, happiness, and laughter that Christmas inspires, Narnia became a cold, forbidding place. Our world can be cold and forbidding too. It's filled with suffering and selfishness, which is why Christmas reminds us of how things are supposed to be. We were created to love one another and to fill the world with joy, happiness, and laughter. So even though it's still October, I hope you can enjoy Christmas music when you hear it. Let it fill you with the hope of Christmas. After all, Christmas is about gifts, and no greater gift has ever been given than the baby Jesus in a manger who brought God's grace and forgiveness to a hurting world. That's a great message to hear any time of year. For Focus on the Family, I'm Jim Daly.
Hello?
Hey, stranger.
Oh, hi. Thank goodness it's you. I was afraid to answer the phone.
Why? What's up?
The credit card companies are after me. They want me to make payments and the calls never stop.
Ouch. Been there before, but I got help from Trinity Debt Management.
Trinity?
Yeah, I called and right away Trinity contacted my creditors and got my interest rates cut in half. They ended all the late fees and over-limit charges, and they stopped those annoying phone calls.
Bet that was a relief.
Yep. Then they put me on a plan that consolidated my bills into one easy monthly payment. That way, I paid off my debt fast while saving thousands.
Nice.
Trinity even showed me how to plan and meet a monthly budget. So now I'm debt-free for keeps.
Wow. Do you still have their number?
Sure. Here, write this down and call 1-800-990-6976.
Can you repeat that?
1-800-990-6976. That's 1-800-990-6976.
I'm Harold Miller. I'm running for mayor of Litchfield because my mom and dad instilled in me the value of community service. I view the office of mayor as a position of service. If elected, I will always be there for the citizens of Litchfield. My second priority will be the city employees. We must take care of the city employees as they are taking care of us. Our city is better when we are all invested in the future. I humbly ask you to vote for me, Harold Miller, to be the next mayor of Litchfield.
Paid for by Harold Miller.
MB's Point to Ponder for today. I had one when the show started. Now I have two. So you get two times the fun. One, I was thinking about earlier this morning. Notice how the legal speed limit is the socially accepted speed minimum.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's funny how those things are inverted. And the other thing now that I'm wondering is, if you go to anyone who's on the Hill tonight and goes to the football game, will you get a product sample of Gold Bond, Icy Hot, and will you get a discount voucher for the General?
Uh-huh. And there's also pizza too. Can't forget
It
about
could be pizza. I'm just wondering, how the T-shirt cannons will be replaced with Icy Hot and Gold Bond product samples.
They could. I mean, heck, they could probably go to that George Clooney movie, and those samples would probably be better.
Sam
off.
reminds me, we need. No, it was in St. Louis. It wasn't in Cincinnati. St. Louis has the most amazing T-shirt cannon that I've ever seen. It's mounted in the back of a side-by-side.
No, that's Cincinnati.
They do
that's
have it in
Redzilla.
Cincinnati as well?
Yeah, Redzilla.
I think they have one in St. Louis, too.
Yeah, Cincinnati was first.
Okay, well, that may be, but those are impressive. I'd like to have one of those.
Do you know, I've looked into purchasing you a T-shirt shooter, but...
I want to see you do that and go to a Cougar football game and start firing K105 T-shirts.
Yeah.
It
when
will-
I looked at the prices, I was like,
It will make me dislike the question, got any T-shirts, less.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because you
I
could
get to
shoot 'em in the
respond
forehead.
with, yeah, go right over there and stand. I'll give you one.
I'm even Google. I would have no idea.
we
how
can
much a
use
T-shirt-
those. We can use those cutouts over there for you to practice like your aim.
Yeah, our
your
targets.
target.
My, my goodness, that is really expensive.
I told you.
In fact, the one that's like the
Even
spinning
the-
one, it's only $4,300.
The
Even
Gatlin
the
gun
cheap
one?
ones are
$500. Yeah, I see this here.
I mean, are stupid.
Well, we could get you one that's a slingshot. Apparently, this one could go 500 yards.
I need accuracy is going
Now,
to be
if
important.
he's
for
going to do
my
it,
endeavor.
he's going to have a bad Mama Jamma one.
That's right.
And I looked.
On TV tonight, NLCS Game 3. The Padres and Phillies are tied heading into Philadelphia tonight. ABC 2020, The Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip on Bravo, Trick or Treat on AMC. Tomorrow night, the ALCS continues. If the Yankees don't win Game 3, then that series will probably wrap up on Sunday. If the Yankees don't win the first game in New York, you can pretty much count on that being a sweep. The Padres and Phillies will also play their Game 4 tomorrow in Philadelphia. Then, Strawberry Queen and UConn, they'll be disappointed if I don't tell them they'll be watching tomorrow night We Wish You a Merry Christmas on the Hallmark Channel. We wish you a Merry Christmas. Celebrity Wheel of Fortune on ABC on Sunday night. Jennifer Lewis, Joel Madden, and Francia Raza. I don't know. And The Simpsons on Sunday night.
I sort of want Dennis and Sarah to have like matching onesie pajamas that are Christmassy and have like be holding like hot cocoa in their hands with the TV in the background and their kids take a photo so that we can use that every time that we talk
That's
about
framed and hanging above their bed already.
Yeah.
I was going to say it's above their mantle, but it's not because their TV is above their mantle. We've seen it many times.
And you got Cougar football tonight too, 7 o'clock. Shameless plug.
And nobody has mentioned that I'm wearing orange today.
Yeah, Cougar orange.
I actually was going to mention it earlier, but it's not. I couldn't tell.
It's as close as I could get.
I'm saying it looks pumpkin colored.
As long as you're not wearing that color orange next week, then we're good.
Yeah, because that's close to Tennessee orange. So
and
you
in
gotta
that
be
case,
careful.
we'd have to. Yeah.
I even gave thought to this.
I
this morning.
almost mentioned it, but I can't tell if it's almost not pumpkin-y enough. But I was going to go with, there are gourds that are that color. So I just thought, it looks good. Now, I saw that it had mascara on it earlier this morning.
Not anymore.
That's right. Today's highlight in history. This day in 1879, Thomas Edison perfected a workable electric light at his laboratory in Menlo Park, New Jersey. Old Ironsides was christened in Boston's harbor this date in 1797. In the harbor. That's where they christened it. In the harbor. In 1966, 144 people, 116 of them children, were killed when a coal waste landslide engulfed a school and some 20 houses in Aberfan, Wales. That is that is an extremely dramatic scene in The Crown. Because that tragedy happened in the middle of the day. All the kids were in school. They had the mine tragedy, and it just swept and basically just wiped out that town, school first. And so the Queen went, and it was one of the first times that really it became known that she was like a human, because she was just this iron, kind of rigid. And so it was a pivotal moment in that show. And I would imagine it's also based in history. Birthdays today. Manfred Mann is 82. Elvin Bishop is 80. Judge Judy is 80 today.
I love her.
Will Estes is 44 today. He plays Jamie Reagan on Blue Bloods. Kim Kardashian is 42 today. Kim K. Alfred Nobel, born in 1833. Dizzy Gillespie in 1917. Whitey Ford in 1928. Carrie Fisher in 1956. This is Princess Leia's birthday. Let's find a chart topper. Let's go to 1958. I've never heard Cozy Cole and his song Topsy 2. More cowbell. That's what we need. What we need is more cowbell. A little organ, a little happy organ.
You've been reading about cowbells?
You always need more.
Have I been reading about cowbells?
Yes.
Oh, yes, I have been reading about cowbells. That's right. Yeah, I had that the other night.
Oh, well, thank you, Leanne.
She's right. It is pretty. And that's the thing I want. Oh, you should wear orange more often.
Oh,
No,
well,
she's-
listen, I am open for anybody that has any they want to get rid of.
Well, it's Cougar Orange, too.
Yeah.
More importantly,
Yeah.
Yeah, I know somebody
you,
has some
Leanne.
orange that they want to get rid of. Barbara Allen.
Yes, exactly. He's like, come on in.
Lulu, To Sir with Love, number 1 in 1967.
Especially because, I mean, one, Alea might become a Cougar athlete. You might have to get yourself plenty of orange.
Yes.
True. Might have a bunch. Thanks, Lulu.
Between softball and who knows what's next.
Who knows? 1976. Rick Dees and his cast of idiots. Number 1 with Disco Duck.
Party the other night. All the ladies were treating me right.
I mean, this feels like so skating rink something,
Oh, yeah,
right?
absolutely. Basically, he kind of took the notoriety of BJ McCall, Convoy, and then took Convoy meets the disco scene and popularity and made Disco Duck.
All of a sudden I begin to change.
Disco Duck. That's how it goes.
But no other
1985.
I think we need a cover of that from you.
Whitney Houston.
Yeah, he's really good with the duck.
I've had a cast of idiots a time or two, so.
Well,
I've had a long career. I might not be talking about this room. So.
that's all right.
Let's
Damn
go
it, I
to
don't care.
1994, Brooks and Dunn.
she's not the cheating kind.
Oh, don't forget, Ronnie Dunn hosts American Country Countdown on the Moose Saturday afternoons from 2 to 6. If you're so inclined. Let's go to 2003, Maroon 5. Did I say Ronnie Dunn? Kix Brooks is the one that hosts the American Country Countdown. I might have messed that up. Harder to Breathe.
I don't think they're going to let Adam Levine do it. He's kind of in some controversy.
SNL skit was pretty funny that they did. Psy, Gangnam Style, number 1 in 2012. And then a year ago today, Stay, Kid Laroi, and Justin Bieber.
Like we talked about
one.
last time this came out, it's hard to not bop your head to this song. You got to get the drop here.
Open Gangnam Style.
That was thrown into the dance party at least once in the last couple of months.
Oh, yeah.
She didn't like it as much as we did.
She doesn't like this song? Oh, come on.
She didn't
It'll
live.
take her a little bit.
She didn't live through this song getting over and being so.
Listen, I remember when this song was big, I was doing PA too. This was a great song to pull out during it, like a 30-second timeout.
Yeah. She more on the whip and nay side.
Yeah.
You know, she's break your legs.
Yeah, she's-
break your legs. She really thinks that's funny because the teachers do the funny dances. Yeah, that's why it's a big hit. I think she's trying to goad some of the Clarkson staff into doing some of those moves. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today: if you are positive, you'll see opportunities instead of obstacles. If you are positive, you'll see opportunities instead of obstacles. MP's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Remember, God loves you, and I do too. If you don't know Jesus, let me know, and I'll introduce you. Look forward to seeing you back here on Monday for another edition of our show. For Sam Gormley, for Beej, I'm MB, and now you're in the know.
Powering through the Twin Lakes with the best mix of music, news, weather, and fun. If it's in the Twin Lakes,